Lady, how does the attainment of the cessation of perception and feeling come to be? Friend Visakha, when a monk is attaining the cessation of perception and feeling, it does not occur to him, I shall attain the cessation of perception and feeling, or I am attaining the cessation of perception and feeling, or I have attained the cessation of perception and feeling, but rather his mind has previously been developed in such a way that it leads him to that state. Lady, when a monk is attaining the cessation of perception and feeling, which state sees first in him? The bodily volition, the verbal volition, or the mental volition? Friend Visakha, when a monk is attaining the cessation of perception and feeling, first the verbal volition ceases, then the bodily volition, then the mental volition. Stop here for a moment. When a monk is attaining the cessation of perception and feeling, this is the cessation of consciousness. In other words, the six consciousness shuts down, and he appears to be a dead person. In other words, the body and mind is totally shut down, just like your computer. But it has to go in three stages. First, the verbal volition ceases. Verbal volition is the thinking ceases. Then the bodily volition, the breathing ceases. And then the mental volition, the perception and feeling or consciousness ceases, shuts down. But in the suttas, we know that this, when verbal volition ceases, that means the thought ceases. That is the state of the second jhana. In the first jhana, you still have vitaka and vichara, applied and sustained thought. But in the second jhana, this thinking ceases. That's why second jhana is called the state of the Aryan silence. The mind stops chattering. And then the bodily volition ceasing is the breath ceasing. And the breath ceasing is the fourth jhana. The fourth jhana. And then the mental formation ceasing is the perception and feeling and perception ceasing. That is Nirodha Samapatti. You can call it the highest state of concentration. So when the body and mind shuts down, it goes in this, it has to go in that order. You have to attain the second jhana, then the fourth jhana, then only attain this cessation. This cessation is also similar to parinibbana. That is why if you look into the sutta on the Mahaparinibbana, how the Buddha entered Nibbana, he had to go through these stages. Had to go to the second jhana, fourth jhana. Then from there he entered this cessation, entered Parinibbana. Lady, how does emergence from the attainment of the cessation of perception and feeling come to be? Friend Visakha, when a monk is emerging from the attainment of the cessation of perception and feeling, it does not occur to him, I shall emerge from the attainment of the cessation of perception and feeling, or I am emerging from the attainment of the cessation of perception and feeling, or I have emerged from the attainment of the cessation of perception and feeling, but rather his mind has previously been developed in such a way that it leads him to that state. Lady, when a monk is emerging from the attainment of the cessation of perception and feeling, which states arise first in him? The bodily volition, the verbal volition, or the mental volition? Friend Visakha, when a monk is emerging from the attainment of the cessation of perception and feeling, first the mental volition arises, then the bodily volition, then the verbal volition. Stop here for a moment. So when a monk emerges from this Nirodha Samapatti, this state of cessation of perception and feeling, first the mind has to commence working again. Consciousness must return, and after consciousness returns, and then the breathing starts. This breathing, that means he emerges from the cessation, then emerges from the fourth jhana, then emerges from the second jhana, the volition. The verbal volition. So in the reverse order. Lady, when a monk has emerged from the attainment of cessation of perception and feeling, how many kinds of contact touch him? Friend Visakha, when a monk has emerged from the attainment of the cessation of perception and feeling, three kinds of contact touch him. voidness contact, signless contact, desireless contact. Lady, when a monk has emerged from the attainment of the cessation of perception and feeling, to what does his mind incline? To what does it lean? To what does it tend? Friend Visakha, when the monk has emerged from the attainment of the cessation of perception and feeling, his mind inclines to seclusion, leans to seclusion, tends to seclusion. Stop here for a moment. So, when this monk has attained this cessation of perception and feeling, he comes out of it, he should become an arahant. And then after that, he only wants to be in seclusion because that state is so pleasant. He tends to want to meditate and go into that state. He will want to be aloof from society. In fact, I would say even if a person has attained the fourth jhana, the state is so deep and peaceful that after that also he would not want to mix with society. He will tend to go into seclusion also.